What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you how to use some woo-woo tactics to close more sales and increase your close rate. I know in sales, we're not a big fan of the woo-woo stuff, but I'm going to show you exactly why this matters, what it's all about, and how you can use this to close more deals. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Adam Taylor. I run a done-for-you sales agency with Nomadic Closer, and we specialize to take companies from $200,000 a month to $1 billion a month by building their sales processes completely hands off and done for you. And so today, what we're going to be talking about is how to use some woo-woo tactics that actually work in real life to close more deals. And so this is one of my favorite topics. It's one of my favorite topics because it's something that's so easy to ignore because there is little to no empirical scientific data around it. And so it's very easy to be poo-pooed and pushed to the side. I'll give you an example of this. Something that is completely poo-pooed in the world of science is placebo. And so sometimes people will tell you, oh, I've been taking supplements, I've been doing XYZ, and I've been feeling much better. It's really been helping. And so some skeptics may say, yes, but it could be placebo. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, I guess it doesn't work then. If you look at scientific studies, they will use a medication or a supplement, and they will put the results of that and the effect of it against the effects and results of a control group, who did not take the supplement or medication, but who took a sugar pill. Essentially, they're measuring the effect of the medication or supplement versus the increase of placebo. And so typically what they'll show then in their clever little graphs is that these people had this much of an increase in strength, energy, or reduced whatever it might have been. And these people will only have had so much. So this will be poo-pooed and ridiculed and kind of deemed as useless. But hold on a second. These people actually increased performance, decreased severe health markers purely through the power of their mind, purely through the power of belief. And so we can call it woo-woo to use your mind to affect matter, body, things around you, results that you have in your life. But there's actually empirical data that this works. So that's why this is one of my favorite topics. And so this is actually something I was speak to with one of my mentees, one of my coaching mentees the other day, and I want to run you guys through it. And so there are essentially two elements. Let me just kind of build this back up for you guys here. And so there are basically two elements to what is going to determine the results of a closer, a sales rep. And this is also a very, very simple checklist to use should your results be dipping, should your results go down, should you find yourself in a rut. And I would like to do a separate video on what sales ruts are because they actually don't exist. All right. So drop a comment if you want a video about that. So there are two elements. Very, very simple. There's energy and there's skill. Simple to understand. You can have the highest skill set in the world, but if you've been partying all night, you have not slept a wink, and then you roll onto a call, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be harder for you to deploy your skill. Vice versa, you have great energy, great presence, you're well rested, you're bouncing off the walls, you're full of conviction, your energy levels are high, but you have no level of skill, you will only go so far in your sales career. And so these two things matter. I break these down into three equal parts. Energy for me is number one, and this is hat tip to Cole Gordon for giving me the framework for this. I've kind of simplified it for myself into the core 6 elements that I feel dictate the level that a sales rep will be able to go and the results they'll be able to get. Number 1 is physiology. Number 2 is clarity. And number 3 is inspiration. Simple to understand, right? Physiology is going to be all about your sleep, nutrition, and exercise, obviously, right? If you're looking after yourself, if you're in decent physical shape, you're probably going to perform better on the calls. Not easy to believe, right? Not hard to believe. Clarity is essentially having a very strong reason why the hell you're doing all of this. This is going to bring you through the hard times, the ups and downs. And there's more to this, but this is not the video for it. Inspiration is essentially your diet for your mind. And so this is your environment, the people you're around, the media that you consume. If you are constantly around people who are negative, who are pessimistic, your energy is going to dip. If you're listening to the news, listening to the radio, listening to or watching horror documentaries, things about serial killers, what happens is your energy actually goes down. Okay. You absorb literally everything around you. So if we raise these three things, energy goes up. The point of this video is to explain exactly the thing that overrides all of this. These are the tactics. Today, I want to get into what's overarching the thing that affects all of your energy. Now, in terms of the skill, these are three things. Also, you gotta know what to say. You gotta know what to ask. You gotta then, second level, know why you're saying it. And number three, you have to deeply understand what you're hearing. Increase your level of understanding in these three areas. Your skill level as a sales rep goes up. Now, the point of the video is this. And we have to come to an agreement that everything in the universe is just energy. E equals mc squared. Everything that is matter is energy. This table, this chair is not actually solid. It is all vibrating energy. The smallest measurable unit in the universe is not, in fact, an atom. Atoms are made up of something that is called a quark, which is literally an energy wave. Everything is energy. Things that seem solid are vibrating at a lower frequency. Things that are invisible are vibrating at a higher frequency. We are no exception to the universe. We are an intrinsic part of the universe. We are not separate from the universe. We are a part of it. Therefore, you right now are vibrating at a certain frequency. And I'm going to show you exactly which frequencies you have to choose from. And so what I've done for the purpose of this video is just grabbed a vibrational frequency chart. All you got to do is open up Google and type in vibrational frequency chart, and you'll find one of these. Now, these here, contracted states, are essentially low frequency states. If you are in a period of life or in a place in your life where you're feeling a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of apathy, you're maybe grieving, you are essentially in a low frequency state. If you were to describe a successful person, would you use any of these words? Probably not. The most successful people we see are pretty much up here, aren't they? In what we call high frequency states. Now, you may have heard of Tony Robbins, who talks about state a lot and state management. This is exactly how you can use this to increase your sales for yourself very, very soon, right after this video. In fact, on your very next sales call, I'll give you a quick little tactic as to how to use this to help more people help themselves. Now, here's what happens. In the world of sales, you may potentially be going through a tough time. You may be not quite happy with your results. You may be a little bit worried, a little bit nervous about your next commission check. If you allow these thoughts to persist, they will affect your state. If you tell yourself, I am ugly, I am ugly, I am ugly, I am ugly 100 times over, are you going to be sticking your chest out and smiling, or are you probably going to be slumping your shoulders a little bit and kind of feeling a little bit down about yourself? Right. So essentially what happens to a lot of sales reps is that if they are in a low frequency state because they are worried about the next paycheck, they are in a state of fear. You may be so fixated on your next 10K, 20K, 30K month that you're in a state of desire. Desire is a low frequency state. Desire is essentially signing a contract with yourself to be unhappy until you get the thing that you want. Think back to a sales call that you've had where you've had somebody hop on and they have had the biggest goals and ambitions. They want the Ferrari, they want the houses, they want to make as much money as possible. And you as a novice sales rep maybe start licking your lips and thinking, damn, this guy's good to go. He is ready to rock and roll. He or she is not. If you've then had them say at the end of the call, I don't know, let me go and think about this. It's because they're operating from a state of desire. A state of desire is I am here and happiness is up here. It's a low frequency state. And to drive this point home, anybody who has experienced or has been aware of a feeling of depression for themselves in life, or they may have known somebody who's gone through a period of depression, that person is in a state of apathy. What's the point? Why bother? Don't really want to get out of bed. The thing that often shakes people out of that phase of depression, and this, I have had my own personal experience with this, is they get a little bit angry. They're like, but I'm tired of feeling this way. This is stupid. Now, they may still be in a low frequency state, but all they've done is they've raised their frequency. And now they might, through anger, get out of bed, go to the gym because they're annoyed at themselves. So they let themselves get themselves in this state. And from there, they can start moving up the ladder if they do the work to start loving themselves again, accepting where they're at, having the willingness and the courage to do the step, take the steps, do the actions that are going to get them into a better place in life. Okay. And so here's what happens on sales calls. Now, this doesn't just go for you, your prospect. Every single call that you hop on will be vibrating on a different frequency according to this chart. Now, you may have people, as we've kind of mentioned, who are in a state of desire, low frequency state. They might be angry about their situation, low frequency state. You may get somebody come to the end of the call and now they're incredibly fearful of pulling the trigger and making the decision, making a wrong decision, right? And so what happens is if you, the sales rep, are operating from a place of fear, scarcity, desire to make the sale, how can we ever expect to raise the vibrational frequency of our prospect to a place of courage into which they get into an expanded state? In a contracted state, no change can be made. This is hibernation. This is security. This is safety. This is everything. Keep everything the same for fear of change. This is a contracted state. It is not until this frequency, courage, that change is made. A different decision can be made to get a different result as this person is open and willing and accepting to change their circumstances. And you're picking up what I'm dropping down. This is so freaking important. Once you understand this, you understand life. There is no bad days. There are no good days. There are high frequency states or low frequency states. You are never in a good mood or in a bad mood. You are just in a high or a low frequency state. And all you got to do is raise your vibration. And it's incredibly important that you don't only raise your vibration to a place of acceptance to wherever you are in life, to a place of love, not just for yourself and your own situation, but for the other person. And I'm not saying you have to be romantically amorous with this person, but I'm talking about the Jesus type of love, the type of love that cares deeply about the other person's well-being, the type of love that is willing and wanting to have hard, difficult, uncomfortable conversations because it matters. And so if we can be in a place of peace, of joy, man, people are going to gravitate up into this expanded state with us. Now, I'll give you an example of the opposite. What happens very often, especially in an objection handling situation, what I see very, very often is that this person is now in a place of maybe desire in the best case scenario, but very often in a place of fear. And so what a lot of sales reps do whilst objection handling is unwittingly and unwantingly, because of their own low frequency state of desire to make the sale, they get then angry that this person won't make a change. And we push this person into one of the lowest frequency states of guilt and shame. We use logic traps on them to make them feel silly for the actions and the decisions that they're making, for the way that they're feeling, for the thoughts that they're thinking, for the words that they're saying, for not being congruent. And we're too direct and we're too frustrated. to really love the person for where they're at, but not the kind of love that says it's okay, that's fine, stay where you are. That's not love. Love ain't lies. Love is having uncomfortable conversations while still respecting and understanding the person's situation. And so, well, if you don't make a change, how are you ever going to get out of the situation? Oh boy, no, he's right. Yeah, shit. Well, if you don't have the courage, how are you ever going to step up for your family? I mean, what is your wife going to think of you when you turned down the chance to make 10K a month just because you thought $1,000 was too much? And what is she going to say to that? I've seen it. I've seen it. And all we're doing is we're pushing them into a state of guilt or shame. Best case scenario, the only place we can get them there is a place of anger, of them getting pissed off at you, not at their situation, but at you. And so it's so, so important that before the call, during the call, and even after the call, we are constantly managing our state and making sure that we are in the highest possible frequency. For me, the one that I aim for in sales is love. I think enlightenment, I mean, if you can sell from there, goddamn. So I salute you. But if you can at least get yourself into a state of love, of intense love and gratitude for the person, for showing up on the call, for having the opportunity to play this amazing video game that is sales, then you will act in congruency with that state. Now, on a tactical level, I did say I would try and give you a tactical tip for this. This is the woo-woo part. How do I change my frequency? Well, all of these things up here, funnily enough, if we raise these and we take care of these raise our state automatically. These raise our vibration. If I've slept well, if I'm eating good food and I'm exercising, I'm not killing myself, but I'm exercising, I'm moving, I'm fit, I'm lean, I'm healthy, I have a positive outlook on life. Have you ever seen anybody get into an argument just as they're leaving the gym? I haven't. People are always open, holding the door open, have a good workout, have a good day, see you later. Everybody's always smiling and happy after the gym, aren't they? Because they raised their frequency. If you are incredibly clear on why you're doing this, you have a compelling vision that's come from within that you're listening to and following, then you can't get nobody can piss you off. Nobody can drag you back down into a state of anger. You won't even vibrate on that level. You won't even notice it. You're just like, oh, geez, I wonder what's up with that person. I wonder what's going on in that person's life to make them want to act that way towards me. That's where we just vibrate so high that we're constantly in a state of love. And it doesn't mean that we're a pushover, but it means that we love and respect everybody else and we'll never get dragged down into a low frequency state. This is the same thing. If I'm taking care of my environment, the people that I'm hanging around, the things that I'm consuming, I'm constantly vibrating on a higher level. Now, if you ever feel yourself getting dragged down into a state of anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame for not being as successful as you should be, for not being as consistent as you should be, for not missing your morning workout, all you're doing is like nobody else is doing it, guys. You're just dragging yourself into these low frequency states. What if you could say, damn, I love how dedicated I am and how easily I beat myself up. It's because I care. I love that about myself. Boom, instantly. I'm back up here. I can take any vice down here. Man, I wish I didn't get so angry all the time. Do you know what? I love that anger in me. It's because I got a fire in me. I love that part of me. Am I now in anger or am I in love? And so anytime you feel your state dropping, guarantee it's so simple, you probably won't do it. Drop down and do 50 push-ups, 30 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 burpees, whatever it is, move. I guarantee you will feel better afterwards. And so before a call, you obviously don't want to be sweating coming on a call. So here's the woo-woo part. All you got to do, very, very simple. Just take 1 minute, 60 seconds, 120 seconds, 2 minutes before the call to just sit there and breathe. Close your eyes, take really deep breaths, calming breaths, and imagine the person that you're going to be hopping on the call with. If you found them on Facebook or on Instagram or anything of the sort, if you have a picture of them, even better. And if you don't, just imagine the person. Just sit and breathe. And you just start feeling a little warmth in here. You just start feeling into here. And you imagine a beam of light going from here, from your chest, straight into this, wherever they are in the world, just this big arcing beam of light that's going straight into their chest. And then you just tell yourself, they are on this call for a reason and they need to make a change. If you can call to a higher power, I personally am more inclined to swap the word God with universe. If you want to talk to God, I talk to the universe. Doesn't really matter. I say, universe, please help me get out of my own way. Please help me detach from all outcomes. Please help me act from a place of love and not from a place of ego. Please help me have uncomfortable conversation if so needed with this person to help them make the best decision possible for themselves. And I'll ask for help, which puts me in a state of service. It's not me now. I'm asking for help. I'm channeling whatever it is the universe wants to give me, and whatever happens, happens. It's woo-woo as hell, but I actually spoke to a guy who has been practicing this, who taught me that exact small exercise, and he actually doubled his close rate within 2 weeks. No word of a lie. No word of a lie. And so wherever you're at in life, in your sales career, even if you're not in sales and you're just watching this for shits and giggles, understand the vibrational frequency chart and you will understand life. You will never have a bad day again. Do whatever you need to do to raise your frequency as often as you can, for as long as you can, for as many days in a row as you can. If you do that, you will only be able to see things on the same frequency as you. You will also then only be able to attract things on the same frequency as you. These frequencies miss each other. If you're vibrating on a frequency of love and somebody's pissed off, it won't even register. If you allow yourself to be dragged down or fall into a low frequency state, drop and do some burpees, drop and do some push-ups. I guarantee it's so simple, you probably won't do it. Before calls, sit there, imagine the person, connect from here to there with a beam of light, and ask for help to get out of your own way, to be of servants, to detach from all outcome, and to help the person as best you can. If you like this video, please leave a comment. Let me know what was most helpful. Subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be banging out a lot more of this content. Can't wait to see you all guys very, very soon.